Okay, so yesterday we did, last session we did the subnetting theoretically, but now today we'll do practically how it works, mostly using the Cisco Packet Tracer. So I'll do it practically. First, I'll take a couple of computers, let's say 1, 2, 3, example. So I'll take a switch. So now I'll give the connections like from here to here, here to here, and here to here.
గెలాక్సీ జెసికో వచ్చారంట ఎందుకు నేను కొన్నాం నన్ను
Yeah. Yeah. So this, let's call it one small network, very simple network, 3 devices, 1 switch. So first is what you have to do is you have to assign IPs. Maybe I'll tell you steps. First step is assign IPs. So what I do is I will assign some IPs. So something like this. I'll take a box. Let's make green. Okay. Okay. So let's say I will, sorry. So I will assign some IP addresses, something like this. Maybe I can assign like 192.168.1 dot star. Star means you can use any IP anywhere. So let's apply this. Double click, desktop, IP config. Here I can give an IP address. Let's say 192.168.1 dot. Let's say 2. So I click on it. Done. Similarly, I click this double computer, desktop, IP configuration. So I'll give another IP 192.168.1.3, let's say. Done. And this computer also I'll give desktop IP config 192.168.1.4. Okay. I can say this is 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So that's why I put 1 dot star. Star means you can have any 254 device, you can connect it. First, let's test a simple connection. Let's send a simple message to see if it's working. Just a second. I'll send a simple message from ear to ear. I'll just see if it's working or not, just to make sure. Okay. Yeah, it's coming. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it's working. So that means communication is happening between this network. It's fine. Okay, it's working. So yeah, I can send one message from here to here, here to here. So if the communication is happening, that's fine. Now what I do is I'll create one more network. Let's call another subnet or another network. So I'll take 1, 2. Maybe I'll take 2 only, just for reference. I'll give a switch. I'll just connect it. Automatic. 1, 2. Now this I will mark as a different color so that we can understand. Let's mark it red maybe. Pink. Okay. Now this I will give a different IP. Example 192.168. I'll give 2 dot star. You see, this is 1 dot star. I mean, this entire network is 1 dot star. This entire network is 2 dot stars. So again, I will assign the IPs. So double click, desktop IP config 192.168.2.2. I'll start 2. Similarly, this also same. 192.168.2.3. Okay. So same, let's test the message one more time from here to here. Play. Okay, first it's running. I'll just clear it. Delete. From here to here. Okay, let's see. Okay, looks like it's working. It's fine. Yeah, so it's fine. So this network also works without any problem. You can see these two are independent. This is independent, all communication possible here. This is independent, all communication possible here. So now the question is, let's see if I want to send a message from this computer to this computer. So that is the question. We have two different network 1, network 2, and you want to send a message from this computer to this. So right now these are not connected. You can see these are very different. So this is where the idea of router comes. You can take a router. I will take this router, PT router. So I'll tell you why I take that only later. But you can take any other router also. Any of the router is fine. So if I double click it, so I can see there are 2 ports available. This is the 1 port. This is 2 ports. So I can give 2 connections. 1 connection this side, 1 connection this side. So this side is 1 connection, 1 network. This side is another network. But if you see, there are some spaces here. So these are hardware spaces. I can keep something also. I can keep like this. I have to turn off the power. But yeah, I can add these racks if I want to. But for now, it's not required because we only have 2 networks, network 1, network 2. It already has 2 connections. I mean, this and this. You don't need extra hardware. So let me connect it now. So I'll connect the router now. I'll connect router from switch. Switch to router. That's 1 connection. Then switch to router, another connection. Now I can say all are in a way connected. All are connected mostly, but configuration is not done. It just connected on wire connection. Now you have to configure router. So I'll tell you how to configure this. Typically, every device has 1 IP address, only 1. But router is connecting to 2 different networks. So router will have 2 IP addresses. 1 IP address for network 1, like for this one. 1 IP address for network 2, which is this. So that's why you can see these are port numbers 0010. Now let's double click it. I'll go to config. So these are the ports 0010. First, you have to turn it on 0010. Now here you will give 1 IP address. So 00 is left side. So I will give like 192.168.1. I would give 1 actually, not 0. Typically we give 1 only. We don't use 0 much, but you can. Done. Similarly, this is right side. Right side you have 192.168.2.1. Okay. So that means this router has 2 IP address. 1 IP address points to this network. Another IP address points to this network. Okay. Any question up to this point? Simple only. I mean, I'll just summarize it. So we created a small network. We configured it. Configure means giving the IP address. That's it. We created another network. Same, we configured it. We check the messages are going fine. Now, since we have two different networks, we want to connect via router. So we took one router, we configured it by giving two IP address. One IP address this side, one IP address is the other side. That's it. You can see. So this is what we call subnetting. Subnetting in a way like I can give without subnetting means I can give 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and so on. But with subnet, I can divide it 1 dot star, 2 dot star. I can even take one more local 3 dot star also. I can take 4 dot star, 5 dot star. So these are subnets. So you can say this is one subnet, small network, another subnet, small network. Both are connected via one route. This all is one network. Let's say. In one network, we have two different subnets. Any questions up to this point? Anything online? Any question up to this point? Configuration. Yeah, but now messages cannot be sent. Let's try it. Still, you require some configuration, but let's see. Let's say I want to send a message from here to here. I'll just click it. So it fails. I'll tell you why it fails, but router configuration browns. Okay. Router configuration is simple. You double click it first. Now you can see interface. 00 is one interface, this port. 10 is another interface, this port. So you just have to configure like IP address. 00, click on it, and you add IP address of that router for this port, which means this side. This side is one IP address. This side is another IP address. That is what you do. 00 you click, you give one IP address. 10 you click, you give another IP address. You can say this is the change. 2.1, 1.1. That's the configuration only. So basically IP configuration, in a way you are giving two IPs for router because you have two networks. So that's the configuration only. Just give two IP address to the router. One IP address for left side for this network, another IP address for this network. So in a way, the router has two IP addresses now. Yeah, that's the configuration only. But still, you cannot send the messages because I'll tell you, you still have to configure something. Yeah, messages are not sent. So this is where the concept of, maybe I'll write it down. So I'll just step this. There is something called default gateway. So default gateway means typically where the messages or request, whatever you call, go first. Like a default route, like entry route. For example, when you go to google.com, if you go type google.com, so this request, this message does not directly go to Google. It first will go to your router. The router will move that message to another router to another router, and so on. Finally, you go to google.com. So the first is when I click on it, I mean, it happens very fast, of course. But if you zoom in, first when I click on it, this request will go to my router here. So that is what I call default gateway. So default gateway is equal my router at this time. Same thing for you also, online people, you have your router. Right now you are on Zoom call, right? You are seeing my screen. But actually my screen is going to my router first, my router to another router to Zoom to, and finally it reaching your router to your computer. Same thing, if you want to say some message, your message goes from your laptop to your router first, your router to some other router, so on. Finally, it will reach my router, then my screen, then I see your message. So that's how it travels. So now what you have to do is here, you have to set a default gateway on a computer. So I'll double click it, IP config. You can see default get. This is where you have to set the IP address of the router. So what is the IP address of the router? 192.168.1.1. That's it. That's it. Done. Similarly, for this also same. Same. Same for this also. Okay. What about these? So these 2.1, because this use different IP, right? 2.1. Similarly, this also same. That's it. That's all final connections. Yes. Yeah, let's just give it some time, maybe a few minutes, a few seconds. It will video. Now you can send a message from here to here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So we just have to give some time. It will take some time actually. Let's do one more time. Clear, clear. Okay, it's working. So the message goes to other switch, the other switch to PC4. Same response. This is response. Response also goes in the same way. Here, back to switch. Switch to PC1. That's it. So we just saw how internet works actually. So this is how internet works. But here you only have two networks. On internet, you have thousands of networks. But the message goes like this only. You can see this is one network. This is another network. You are able to pass message from one network to another network via router like this. So I'll just summarize it, what we have done so far. Maybe you can recreate it. Of course, recording is there, but still, I'll summarize it. First I did is local network of 3 computers, 3 PCs with switch, one switch. Okay. So I give a IP address, something like IP address range 192.168.1. Star means you can keep anything. So that's one network. Second is local network. So local network of 2 PCs with switch 2. With one switch, that's it. That IP address range is 192.168.2. Third is one router I took. Make 2 IPs. 2 IPs. One IP for left network, let's say, which is nothing but 192.168.1.1. Second IP is for right network, 192.168.2. Again, you don't need to give exact like this. You can give any IPs, but these are very easy to remember. That's what I just did. And fourth step is added default gateway. Default gateway for PCs. That's it. So these are the steps we did. First, we created some PCs We give some IP addresses for each PC. Make sure the communication is working. Then we took another network of two PCs, one switch. Again, same process repeated, but independent. This is independent. This is also independent. But now we took one router. We connected both of them. We give one IP address for left network, which is this. One IP address for right network, which is this. So the router has two different IPs. And finally added the default gateway setting for each piece. So I see there's a question. Let me read it. Purpose of default gateway. The default gateway is all about where the message will go first. Default gateway means where the message will go first. That's the purpose of it. First, like when you request something when you do anything on a computer or phone, it goes to default gateway. If you don't mention default gateway, the messages will be on your phone or your computer. It will not reach internet. So you will have to tell a default route. It's like a route only, default route. Hey, where do you have to travel first? So typically in your home, my home, in the office, mostly we use as routers. Yeah, that's my default gateway, but you can change the default gateway to something else also. You can, maybe I can use another, let's say, like a cell phone, cell. Like phone call doesn't use your default gateway as a router. Phone call uses cell tower. So that could default gateway is cell tower. The message goes from your phone to cell tower, maybe cell tower to maybe somewhere like far like that. So default gateway is that only where the message will go first from your computer or phone or whatever the device. You have to configure that like the default route you have to configure. That's it. Yeah, we successfully created a subnet actually, two subnets. We can also add one more subnet also, but I just want to make sure you understand this entire process. Any question on this process? Again, I'll share this with you. You can download and see, but it's easy only. You can by manually do it. Like, I recommend you to do it only. Yeah, any questions on the flow up to this point before we add one more subnet? So any questions up to this point? Yeah. So let's add one more subnet. I'll take few PCs. Let's say I'll take PC1, PC2, let's say PC3. The process is same. Again, we don't have the space, but let me take some space. So again, same process. I take three computers. I take switch. I'll connect each computer to switch. Okay, that's one. I'll just mark it something. That, now tell me what IP range I can give for this. 192.168. I can give 3.start. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'll just give it. So first I click on this computer, desktop, IP config. I'll give the IP 192.168.3. I'll give 2. Iconic. Same here also. 2.168.3.3. Last one. 192.168.3.4. That's it. So I'll just check if the messages are going fine from here to here. I'll just check local first. It's working locally fine. Mhm. Okay, it looks like it's working. It's working. Yep. So local is fine. Now let's try to connect to this router. But here you will get some problems. Let's see. From here to here. Yeah, you can see there is an error coming. So the error is the cable cannot be connected to that port. You see? I cannot connect it. So the reason is this router has only two ports, physical ports, something like this. The router has only two ports. Port one is this. This is connected already left. This is connected already right. So there is no other physical ports are there. But you can see some racks are there. You can fill it. You can keep these here. But you have to turn off the router. So here there's a switch. You just turn it off, turn off. Now you can add this thing, something like this. Now you have one more port open. Again, turn it on. If you go to config, it's still loading. It's loading. Yeah, it's loading. Let's wait a bit. Or I can do one thing. I'll just save this file, save it. Meanwhile, I'll save it here. Uh, sub sub. Yeah, it's still loading. So sometimes this happens. I'll just close it. That's okay. Okay. Double click. That's still loading. Just give it. I think it's done. I think it's done. Uh, since we turn off the power, turn on it, you have to configure again actually. So I'll just configure it. You can see now 00 is there, 10 is there, but this extra is also added, 60. So I have to connect again. See, from here. Okay. Now you see three connections, three ports. Port 00, port 10, 60, gig 60. So now I'll just have to create configure. Again, I have to configure again because I turn off the power. 1.1 this one. 1.1 this side on. You have to turn it on. Yes, sorry. Yeah, that's true. You have to turn it on. 192.168.2.1. Okay. And finally, this one. You have to turn it on. 192.168.3.1. That's it. Now router is completely configured with three different subnets. I think default gateway, we already added it. It will be there. Let's see. Default gateway is there. But these systems default gateway is not there yet. We'll have to add it. paste. That's it. That's it. All configuration is done. Now anyone can send message to any computer that's connected, because we'll just have to give some time. Immediately it doesn't happen. For example, if you want to send a message to here, it will fail. Immediately it doesn't happen because of this simulation. It will take some time. What you have to do is have to wait some time, maybe try again. It will work. You can see successful. I can simulate it. Let's say I want to send a message from here to here. You can see message is going fine. Yeah, message is delivered. Now reply comes. So this is how you create subnetting. Create different networks. This is how even your home also has. You can think like these are all your home Wi-Fi devices. Your phone, your computer, mostly phone and laptop only, but any other. Now this is where you can call internet. Outside your router is internet. Inside your router is your local network. Right? So we have three different networks. So internet is nothing but thousands of these, not thousands, even more, like or millions of networks is we call internet. Of course, I can add one more network also, but I need to add the port. You remember that physically it doesn't have the port. You will have to take one more here, add one more here, one more here. So total you can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means this router is capable of handling 6 different networks. Some routers might be there, they only can handle 2. For example, this one. You can see there are only 2. There is some extra space are there. Let's see. You can handle it, I guess. Power down, power off. You can see, you can handle it. Okay, you can add it. Looks like. Again, this is all real only, even though it's simulated, but in real life also like this. People buy the ports, they integrate it. So we can see how much is this router cost. Let's see, 4331 router, Cisco. Let's see, Cisco 4331 router cost. 75,000 or something. 42,000, yeah, 47 you say. So these are company routers, of course, not like a normal. Our router costs 1,000 rupees, less than 1,000, because it doesn't have any much. But these are company routers. You can see $800. You can see exactly same only. There is a Cisco PT router. PT router also. I think this cost even more, I guess. You can see prices, but let's see. Yeah, this is 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. This is even more advanced router. Yeah, something like that. Again, it depends. Yeah, it depends, but again, we use simulation. So all 3 routers are like simulated. They are not real, but they act like real. You can take any thing, double click, see what's happening, add something if you have interest, turn on the power, turn off the power, add it. So you can see this can be connected to, okay, this is even bigger. 4, 4, 4, 4. Now 16 networks I can connect. Yeah, 16 networks I can connect. Yeah, this is what subnetting is in real life. Generally, cybersecurity people are not meant to do subnetting. Your job is to understand only, not to do this work. This work is done by the network engineer guys. You will not do this work typically. Network engineer, network cloud people will do it. But your job is to understand how it's connected at least. For example, there is possibility that here there is some hacking happening. Some hacker is there. See, let's say there is an attacker. The attacker actually attacked this router. Example. So that's your job only. If somebody attacks your router, that means in a way, this guy can control this network, this network, this network. Because this router is connected to 3 different networks. If somebody hacks this router, in a way, it's a potential threat for all these 3 different networks. So that's where you come in. You come as a cybersecurity expert. You understand what's going on across all these things. If somebody hacks here, if somebody attacks or acts or do something here, your job is to make sure all these are safe. So these are network attacks, like sometimes server attacks we call. Server attacks, the systems only. Somebody hacks the system. But this is more like a routing attacks. Somebody can attack router. Your job is to make sure. So usually you have a firewalls concept. Maybe we'll see in next class concept of firewalls. Let me see firewall. We have firewall actually. Is this what is this? Yeah, we will see. Yeah, we'll add some firewall rules. If anybody is sending some unauthorized message or something like that, the firewall stops it. Like so that's advanced topic. I think that's all I can say about subnets. So in this exercise, you will understand how message our networks is created, how you can create subnetworks, how you can assign IPs, how you can make sure all the messages, all the communication are possible with different networks. That's the exercise I think I want to try. Can I delete this? I'll share this file definitely, but I recommend you only try it by watching the video and everything. So make sure all communication possible end to end. If you can make all communication possible end to end, that means you have pretty good idea of networking at least. The next step is like creating attack simulations. See, some things can be done in simulation, some things we cannot because of the restriction. But whatever we can in the simulation attacks wise, we will try to cover it. Like, what I recommend is meanwhile you can observe. You can take even more like TV if you have interest, smartphone, uh, printer also you can say can take. You can configure the phone. I think phone you don't need much configuration. IP address only. IP address default gateway. That's it. Mostly IP address default gateway. TV also does not need much configuration. TV is very easier. You have on and on. Printer also does not need much. Default gateway and yeah, if you have interest, try to enable